Hello everyone, in this video I'll be giving you an OP LAE'ZEL build guide for Baldur's Gate 3. So I haven't done a build guide for LAE'ZEL yet, and I've been requested a few times, so we're going to keep her obviously as a fighter. This just makes sense for the lore, and I'm also going to add in something nice that's going to make this fit even better, because Githyanki are known for being good fighters, but they're also known for something else, which I'll get into in this video. So I think that great weapon fighting is probably the best feat for this, as we want to be using the two-handed greatsword that you can get for LAE'ZEL, and this is acquired in Act 3, but you can get it in Act 1 as well. So great weapon fighting. When you roll a 1 or 2 in damage die with two-handed weapon, you re-roll that once, which is nice. Just flat out increase the damage. I'm going to take defense, though, just to show what high armor class you can get on this build. I think that defense is great, though. +1 armor class is always great, especially early on when you're trying to get that 21 armor class early. But yeah, either one of those two. Now, for our ability scores, this is where it gets kind of interesting, because we do need a little bit of everything, unfortunately. But we're going to go with something like, we'll keep dexterity low. We're going to be mostly in on strength. And we want to have our intelligence roughly around there would be good. Ideally, we could get either constitution, gives you a little bit more health, or intelligence for being able to do something a bit later on, as we do use intelligence for the Eldridge Knight, which would the way that we're going to be going around with this build. Now, for our skill proficiencies, always take acrobatics. Being able to resist being shoved is huge. And you can take survival or insight. I like insight personally myself, but always make sure you have acrobatics as a fighter. That's super important. Now, I'll be going through the gear at the end of this video, but we're going to go through all the levels here first. So, at level 2, we get ourselves the action surge, which is one of the best features of the fighter. This gives us an extra action. I can't even describe how good that is. Now, we also get our racial trait there with the psionic jump, which is awesome, but we're going to go with the Eldritch Knight here. So, you're a warrior of spell and sword, weaving incantations that supplement your extensive martial expertise. That fits LAE'ZEL perfectly. For our cantrips, typically we're not going to want to use damaging cantrips too much, although having shocking grasp is nice because it can be doubled and create water, and also this gives advantage on creatures with metal armor, and the target can't use reaction, so you can get up there, run shocking grasp, and let your team run past. And yeah, if you're playing as LAE'ZEL Origin, take friends, but I think minor illusion just works best here, so we're going to go with that. As for our spells, now, typically, we don't want to be going around casting chromatic orbs all the time. Shield is an awesome spell, though. So, increase armor class by 5, use as a reaction, take no damage from magic missile. That's huge. I like Thunderwave, too, for the pushback. That can be nice if you have, like, a few creatures near a wall. Or near a cliff, I mean, and knock them off. Magic missile, though, is decent because if you have no other option to hit if you can't hit someone, sometimes magic missile can. And then we get to choose one from the expanded list of spell slots here. I think that Longstrider and Enhanced Leap are two really, really good ones for this build in particular. You can also go with Expeditious Release, gain dash immediately, and as a bonus action at the end of your turns until the spell ends. That's pretty nice as a bonus action dash. I like Find Familiar personally, just being able to take aggro. It's nice to have that one shot. I think that Enhanced Leap, though, is what we're going to go with. But Longstrider's great, too. Now, this lasts for 10 turns, whereas Longstrider lasts until long rest. You can actually have someone stay at your camp and cast this on everyone. So that's why I'm going to not take that and go with the Enhanced Leap, because you can jump really far as a Gith. So for our spells at level 2, again, we don't really want to be using like damaging spells too much. Chromatic Orb can be okay. I really like this on certain builds because you can change the damage type. But I'm going to go with Thunderwave for the pushback. And at our level 4 ability score improvement, I think it's best to take our strength up, honestly. That just makes the most sense. Now, you can dump your strength and use strength potions, but I'm not going to do that for the purposes of this build. We get an extra attack at level 5. I guess another thing we could have done, I'll show you at this next level. Now, the Eldritch Knight is really good at throwing its weapon. So we can actually go with Tavern Brawler here. And what this does, when you make an undetermined attack, improvised weapon, or throw something, which is what the Eldritch Knight does best, strength modifier is added twice to the damage and attack rolls, meaning we're never going to miss. And we can take our constitution up to a nice rounded off 16. So, Tavern Brawler, honestly, a pretty good addition to this build, because we can throw our weapons and get them back. So, we also get the War Magic. You've honed your body and magic for war. So, after you cast a cantrip, you can make it a weapon attack as a bonus action this turn. Again, We aren't using cantrips often, but when you do, it's nice to have a benefit from them. Now, these level 2 spells, I do think that you're probably best going with like darkness, create a darkness that blinds and heavily obscures creatures within. Creatures cannot make ranged attacks out or into it. Arcane Lock can actually be kind of interesting. I would say that it's probably best to go with darkness. Scorching Ray is not something I'd like to take, but you can go with it. It's a damaging spell that we could add in. Shatter's another decent one, but we're going to go... I'll add Scorching Ray, but it's probably best to go with Gust of Wind. As we don't really like spells that deal damage, we're mostly going to want to attack and throw our weapon. So we get another expanded one here. Hold Person is pretty good, I'll be honest. I think this is one of the best spells in the game, and we can benefit greatly from it. But we're going to be using Intelligence as our modifier. So that's 16. If you have the Amulet of Intelligence, you can also use that. It'll keep your Intelligence roughly the same, plus 3 to the checks. Misty Step is another consideration, though. As a Gith, we do get our Misty Step for free once, but having it as a spell version is nice too, because it's a bonus action, get out of jail free card, or get closer to an enemy. It's really nice. Mirror Image 2 to increase armor class by 9 is pretty good. I'm going to go with Hold Person, though, because it can be extremely useful and just helps out a lot. Now, I think that for the next one, next level here, is probably best to go with... Athlete can be good to increase our jump distance and make our jumps really far. But I want to go with an ability improvement. You can take your strength up to 20. I would probably say that's the best choice here, but I want to take intelligence up to 18 because we're going to want to be able to cast some spells here in a moment. Now we get Indomitable. Whenever you fail a saving throw, you can roll again, use the new result. It's awesome. Great level. Level 10. We get Eldritch Strike. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, it has disadvantage on its next saving throw against a spell you cast for the end of your next turn. So, Hold Person. Having disadvantage on Hold Person makes this a really nice build. We get another cantrip here. I think that Mage Hand is probably one of the better ones to use. Create a spectral hand that can manipulate and interact with objects. But Bone Chill is also good because it prevents the target from healing, and that can be really nice against some fights. Now for our next spell, I probably Gust of Wind. I don't think that some of these other ones are even worth taking. Again, we're not going to want to deal damage too frequently with spells. Now at level 11, this is when we get our improved extra attack. 3 attacks, 3 throws. It's pretty good. And for our final spell, again, doesn't really matter. Maybe take Shatter, damage all nearby creatures and objects. Creatures made of inorganics, a disadvantage on their saving throw. Situational, but can be decent and useful at times. Now, level 12, we do get another feat, but I think it's best to actually add in the Wizard. The reason being is we get some more cantrips, yay! So I picked the ones that I was going to take anyways, it's perfect. But we also get to pick a few more spells, so we can really pad out our spell lineup. On top of that, we also get the ability to scribe spells, so that's pretty good. For our spells, probably Grease, Conjure, Find Familiar, Chromatic Orb, I guess we'll take. Expeditious Retreat can be a good one too, and we'll take Tasha's Hideous Laughter. For our prepared spells, probably something like that, but we can swap them out on the fly, because as a wizard, you get the nice ability to be able to scribe scrolls, so I can't do a level 3 spell, but or level 2 spell, but we can try to learn wizard level 2 low. Yeah, a lot of these wizard level is too low. Makes sense. But we do get anything up to level 2, which is kind of a nice addition there, so you can actually add in some other spells just to round off the spell casting here. So you can go into your tab here by pressing K, and you can cycle out the spells that we've learned. And we also have all of our Eldritch Knight abilities there. So as for the gear, the Circular Psionic Revenge, it's a Gith exclusive, so whenever you succeed a saving throw, the foe that caused the throw takes 1 to 4 psychic damage. We also have Indomitable, which makes it less likely that a saving throw against us would fail, so we can succeed more often, deal that psychic damage. And we get a 1+ bonus to Intelligence, Wisdom, and Charisma saving throws. Awesome. Cloak of Protection, +1 armor class, +1 armor class. That's nice. Armor Persistence removes all incoming damage by 2 And you get resistance and blade ward, so we get ourselves a free halving physical damage, and resistance gives a 1d4 to saving throws, so we're very likely to succeed on saving throws. Gloves of missile snaring are pretty nice. You can reduce the damage by 1d10 plus dexterity modifier. Our dexterity modifier is not great, but I didn't really... this playthrough where I have Lae'zel, I don't have the most armor in the game, so there's better options for that. I would probably go with like gloves of dexterity from the Kresh, Githyanki Kresh. And the boots of psionic movement. When a Gith casts fly on their next melee attack, deals an additional 1 to 4 psychic, and we also get the Githborn flying boots. Aberration Hunter's Amulet. A Githyanki wearing this has advantage on intelligence saving throws. Aberrations have disadvantage on their attack rolls, so we do have a lot of bonuses to our saving throws. Killer Sweetheart, just an awesome ring to have a free critical hit, and the Ring of Protection, so there's that. Now, we get a decent bit of spells here, so I also like to have the offhand crossbows just for the extra damage that can bring. And also gives us a nice magic missile. Magic missiles for if you can't hit someone, you can use this to kind of warp its way around and get a hit off. So, I guess the best way about going about this would be, we have our Githyanki, our increased jump there. And look at the jump distance that we get. So we can jump literally across the entire battlefield with that. And it's extremely powerful to just be able to jump your way through everything. Like, that's an incredible jump distance. It's really cool to be able to do that. So, yeah, you can literally jump all over the battlefield, allowing you to get in close. You can also get a Raven here, so that's a nice little summon that we got. Well, it's not the strongest thing in the world. It is a free summon, so we get ourselves that, and it can blind people. So that's a nice benefit for it. Now, we got the advantage on... if we get an attack off, we get the advantage on our saving throw... or targets have disadvantage on their saving throws, so we can cast Hold Person and make sure that hits lands. Long Strider's a nice thing that you always want to have prepared too, because the increased movement speed is huge. And yeah, it further increases our jump distance, so that's nice. And I'm sure we could go even further with our jump distance, but yeah, the bound weapon here is huge. So this allows us to go ahead and throw our weapon and not have to worry about it. So we can just go throw a weapon. And the thing is, it comes right back to us. So, yeah, I would recommend going with an actual thrown weapon if you're going to go this route. The Niralna is a really overpowered one that I highly recommend. So, really go with whatever throwing item that you want. But I would say something like the Niralna if you're in Act 3. That can be great. Plus, you can attach a shield to yourself, so that can be good too. But overall, this build is meant to just get in there, get attacking. You have ranged attacks with your throws. You got magic missile. You got some utility with like expeditious retreat, long strider for the increased movement speed, arcane recovery. So we got a lot of interesting little things that we can add into this. And being a Githyanki, you get some really nice perks like this weapon here gets that additional psychic damage. I guess I didn't even talk about the Sword of Silver Sword of the Astral Plane. This is the best Githyanki weapon. Deals 10 to 25 damage slashing, plus 1d6 psychic conditional. When wielding by a Githyanki, it deals an additional psychic damage. And a Githyanki holding this weapon has advantage on intelligence, wisdom, charisma, saving throws, and resistance to psychic damage, and cannot be charmed. So, really nice. And the resistance to psychic damage is pretty huge, so that can be helpful in a lot of situations. But, yeah, that is a Lae'zel build. I consider doing the Battle Master Fighter, but I think that going this route with the Eldritch Knight works pretty great as well. So, yeah, get around jumping and throwing, and you'll be a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. So, yeah, if you found this video fun or useful, please hit that subscribe button below. If you have any requests for future builds that you would like to see, also let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.